So the new WordPress menu management system is really fantastic, but it can still be a little bit difficult to use if you're managing a lot of menu items at once. So for example, if you have all these different menu items and you add something to the bottom and you want to get it up to the top, you have to drag through all these other menu items and it can just be kind of cumbersome. So the Menu Management Enhancer plugin aims to improve this experience by adding some new elements to the UI. So the first thing we have are these expandos. So you can completely collapse any subtree. So if I click the one on sub 1, it'll collapse these three items below it. So this makes things a lot easier because you don't have to look at all of the menu items on the entire screen at once. You can collapse an entire tree here, right? And now it makes it just a lot easier to manage. The second thing we have is this scroll to bar on the side. So you'll see that it has an individual section for each of the menu items, each of the top level menu items, and as you hover over them, it'll show you the name of that. And if you click, you'll be able to scroll right to it. So if I click on top 4, it brings me straight to top 4, and go right back to the top by clicking on the top 1, or right back up the top 1. So these two things combined makes it a heck of a lot easier to go ahead and move menu items around. So for example, say we've got this menu item top 2, which has 10 descendants. It's got this whole big tree right here. What we can do instead is just collapse it, and then so we want to move it to the end. I can just start dragging. If I hold shift and hover over one of these other menu items on the side here, it brings me right down to top 6 or right back up to top 1. So I can navigate any place really easily without having to do all this dragging up and down. Just drag it right to the one you want while holding shift and pop it in wherever you want and let go. Now when you re-expand it, your entire menu is there again. So yeah, it really makes things a lot easier. I can go back and move this into its correct place again nice and quickly. So I'll just run through what each of these UI elements does. The first is this expando, like I just explained. It will collapse any submenu tree for that particular item. So you can do it. Anything that has child nodes, will be able to be collapsed. The second shows you at a glance the number of children that an individual menu item has, and if you hover, you'll also be able to see the total descendants. So that's children plus grandchildren plus great-grandchildren, etc. Then if you hover over the highlighter button, it'll show you, it'll highlight the area that this menu item affects, so all the subtree for this menu item, including itself. So you can see sub 1 has those 3 elements, sub 2 has these 2 child elements, and so on. Then we have some global tools over here. The first is expand collapse all, so we'll be able to just collapse everything except the top level menu items, or expand everything. So this is really handy if you just want to be working on one menu item, one top level menu item. Close this, just open the one that you want to deal with, and then now you're looking at a much smaller area. It's just much easier to deal with. And then if you want to drag things up from the bottom, it's right there. Expand all those. The second is toggling the menu item IDs. So you can see at a glance what the IDs for each of these menu items is, and these IDs translate to the IDs of the list item elements on the front end, so it makes it really easy to style those menu items individually if that's what you want to do. Toggle those back off. This D toggles the description box real quickly. So a lot of themes use this these days, but it kind of takes up a lot of real estate, so especially if you have a bunch of these expanded. So being able to toggle it on and off quickly is kind of handy. Then this scroller width button just widens the scroller, so if you just gives you a bigger target when you're clicking or when you're hovering, and when you're dragging and hovering over that while holding shift, that can come in handy. And the last thing is this hints toggle, which will show you all the things that I just talked about, and if you hover over them, it'll highlight so you can read exactly what everything does. Anyway, that's the menu management enhancer for WordPress, and I hope you find it useful. Thanks.